Guys, welcome back to my channel. I am Chirishri and today we are going to talk about something incredible. So something which we haven't talked about before, which I haven't really come across in many other channels, something that yearns me a lot, something that motivates me a lot, and something for which I'm here today. So the first stage of twin flame relationship, which is known as yearning, is when the journey actually begins. And yearning is not a stage which a lot of channels I have come across are talking about. Yearning is a stage that a lot of people might be going through. A lot of people undergoing dark night of the soul might be undergoing yearning at this stage. So this is the reason I thought that it is important for me to bring forth the topic of yearning. So yearning is a stage which might start at a very early age, maybe at our 14, 15, or even 12, or even in our 30s. So when the process of yearning begins, we begin to yearn, we begin to really want in our life that I wish I had the love of my life. I wish the love of my life would show up. How I really wish the love of my life would look the best. You might have even stood in front of the mirror in your childhood or even now, because I stand in front of the mirror and talk even now. Like that's one of the things I love to do. And it actually helps me a lot to gear up more confidence. So if you have been a child who would talk in front of the mirror, you would actually pretend that you're talking to the one, and you always had this mindset set in your mind that okay, for me the one will be like this. These are the characteristics of the one I really want in the man I'd marry, in the man I'd settle down for. And this just stayed. Over the course of years, you started dating, you started seeing people around, you started attracting people who had characteristics either close to your twin flame or somebody or the other in your life, and you started attracting various other relationships. The maze, the game, therefore began. You started seeing around people, you got into a relationship, then you thought that okay, after this okay, this is not really what I wanted, this is not close to what I wanted, so I'll move into another one. So then you stepped into another one, and then from there you learned certain lessons, but you were actually searching for the one. That is the reason you ended up many relationships, or many didn't work out, and initially you were like sad, trashed, broken, but finally you were like, you geared up all your courage and you were like, okay, fine, like the one is anyway on the way, and I know that I'll meet the one. So this concept of the one, the feeling that I want to be with the one, the feeling that there has to be someone who is the one, where does it come from? It comes from your heart's inner space, your soul, your energy, the energy frequency or frequency of your body, the entire energy which lets you work, which lets you do every possible thing to think, the energy which controls your mind. That energy frequency is what we talk about. And we say that it's very weird when I go and tell somebody that twin flame is a person who embodies the same soul counterpart of your body. Nobody really wants to believe me, nobody really is convinced. What happens is that the energy frequency of our body, we have a definitive thought process, we have our overall bodily energy, our stamina, our everything, which creates a overall energy frequency of our body, of our mind. A twin flame is someone whose energy frequency is exactly that as ours. Our thought process manipulate and manifest the same way. Our likes, dislikes manifest and manipulate the same way. The social surrounding, the family, the way of our upbringing, everything has been somewhat similar or parallel to each other, because of which the overall frequency of the thought processes are exactly equal. And that is the reason when we automatically meet this person, we sense a strange sense of familiarity. So, what happens with this kind of thought frequency and energy in our body? Naturally, the energy in our body plays a very pivotal role with our facial structure, our health, our bodily proportion. Everything matches with our thoughts. Everything starts from here. So, when we are thinking in some particular perspective, when we are thinking in some particular way, we're leading a kind of lifestyle, naturally that has a further impact on everything, our facial structure, everything, like our thoughts, the movement of our lips, the movement of our jaws. Everything has a collateral similarity with how our facial structures are formed. And this is one major reason twin flames have facial similarities, because of the thought process, the energy frequency, the positioning has been manifested somehow in that way, which actually helps the twin flames recognize each other. And it is because of the similar frequency that they become our parallel opposite universe twin of the opposite sex. So they are us of a different sex. They are us, like basically your twin is you, but he or she has a different sex, which makes you two the divine together counterpart to form one together with the feminine counterpart, with the masculine counterpart. So this is how the magical miracle is there, and it proceeds. And now coming back to another topic, which is of karmic. Karmics are exactly our opposite. Like you and your twin are opposite parallel universe equal. So your karmic is somebody who is exactly there are certain things which you don't like, there are certain things your twin doesn't like. Your karmic is someone who has every quality which the two of you don't have, the two of you don't think is right, the other person thinks is right. So they are your opposite reflection of the parallel reality. So that is the reason we say opposites attract. That is the reason you come in contact with your karmic right before your twin flame. And in many realities, I'm sure the karmic, the twin flame are related to each other. Like they have preceded one another. I mean, that is most of the cases. They know each other, they are surrounded by mutual people often. And this is one of the major reason, because of this attraction, because of the completely opposite mindset. Like it's like because of the opposition, there's always a rift in that kind of relationship. Whereas in twin flames, the repulsion is more because you are seeing your reflection. So you are actually also facing your dark sides, when the karmic actually shows your positive sides to you, because he does not have your traits. So it's easy for him to collaborate with you with his own traits, allowing you to come forth with your own traits. Now, if two people have similar mindset, like the twins, what happens is when one person is coming up with their mental thoughts, process, and the other person is also coming up, their degree of the conditioning is the same. But the overall conversation, suppose they pick up a topic to talk about, in that since their mentality is the same, their ideas are the same, they start to clash, because both of them tend to say the same thing, but then they're like, okay, he just said the same thing I said, I just manipulate this sentence and say this. So this mirroring goes on, and it's like a fun game at one point of time, which is why, in fact, in the second stage, the runner and the chaser stage, a point comes when we are in love with the runner chaser stage, because the runner chaser stage actually brings so much out of us. The runner chaser stage motivates us so much that we reach a point when we really want to linger onto the runner stage chaser stage for a while, and we just enjoy it, mesmerize it, because at one point the telepathy of the twin flames are very visible, and none of the twins can really pretend anymore. And this happens easily when we are coming closer to our inner child, and this is the reason I chose to talk about this topic of yearning. So what happens is, whenever your yearning started, maybe at an early age, maybe whenever, just look back and think. I have even talked about this in another video, and I mentioned there as well that I'll be coming back with another video where I'll be talking about more detailed stuff. So for those who are in a soul searching quest, those who are feeling blockage in throat chakra, those who are feeling lost, dissipated, I think here's a good solution I have for you. Go back, focus on your thoughts, look back and think, when was the time I was yearning for a relationship? When was the time I started searching to have boyfriends or girlfriends? Because I wanted to meet the one, I wanted to meet the prince of my dreams. When was the time it all started? And when it all started, you were actually in the highest form of your energy frequency, your real self. You were close to your inner child, and that is the stage you need to be in. What happens is that once the quest begins, we started questioning ourselves, our inner disabilities, where we are always questioning ourselves, comes up, and we forget to accept us the way we are, and we start manifesting our own nature in perspectives of what the society demands. And that is when the blockages starts to settle down in. So the best way to go back there is to recall, when was it? How many years ago was it? What have I done in that process? How have I behaved in each and every relationship? In fact, go back, sit back and think of all your relationships, jot down where and how you messed up in that relationship and how you were not you in those relationships. And once you have the list of how you were not you in those relationships, and also write down where you were you when people opposed of your true nature. Once you have jotted this list down, you'll actually feel better, because you'll actually feel a collaborated answer of what you needed to find. That when it all started, who am I? And that's when you would know that who you are, and your divine timing will then be in a flick of a second, because you found yourself. There is no exasperation of the obsession and yearning to be with the one to feel complete. There's no need of a tagline then. And once that goes away, naturally the chasing desperation also fades away. And then what remains is you, your original vibe, and your answer to who you are. And once you have found this who you are, it shall thus be. Thank you.